A Mankato daycare is under new ownership.
Aaron Stuvey has more with what's changing and what's staying the same.
Since 2019, Cultivate Mankato has been a staple of the area's childcare options, able to serve more than 100 children and their families at any given time. But late last year, Cultivate's owner decided to step away, and the future of the Main Street pillar came into doubt. Enter New Horizon Academy, a Minnesota-based group that owns more than 100 childcare centers around the country. The group officially purchased Cultivate on January 29th, and Monday was the first day under new management. The actual changes were few and far between, however, as every staff member and caregiver was kept through the transition, meaning the classroom and the people will go unchanged.
Consistency in childcare is incredibly important because it gives a routine that the children can expect each day, and that helps their emotional well-being and their education while here, knowing what to expect. It's really important for kids to have that strong routine.
Abby Frayling is one of those staff members making the transition from the previous ownership. She acts as the facility's director and says that there will be some changes to things like curriculum, but the message from ownership is to keep on, just as they were before.
They can expect all of what they currently were receiving to continue, and anything that does change, like our food program, that is all gonna be better.
In Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KUYC News Now.